Welcome to the Big Success Show. Today, 4 tips from the Pursuit of Happyness. Brought to you by FinancialFreedomTool.com. Plenty of money for life.
Tips to be your best with the professor and Mary-Lynn for your big success.
On a Big Success Show recently, we talked about a new way of looking at money. You ask yourself the question, is your money happy with you?
We've got a link to that show in your show notes today, but the concept comes from Ken Honda, who's written a fantastic book called Happy Money, The Japanese Art of Making Peace with Your Money.
Do you remember Mary-Lynn, Happy Feet? I think Steve Martin did Happy Feet.
Yeah.
I've got happy feet. And he dances around,
Yeah.
right? So
Happy dollar bills.
But now we're talking about happy money.
Yeah.
Today we're going to talk about the pursuit of happiness.
That's right.
And that's happy spelled happiness spelled Happyness, and it's spelled that way in our show because it's coming from one of our favorite movies of all time, The Pursuit of Happyness.
All right, and if you haven't seen the movie, it's the true story of a once homeless single father, Christopher Gardner, played by Will Smith, and his son, Chris Jr., fittingly played by Will's son, Jaden.
Hi, my name is George Kruger, also known as the Professor.
And I'm Mary-Lynn. And Chris Sr. raised himself up from extreme poverty to become a successful stockbroker and multimillionaire. Ah, what a happy ending.
Yes, but the happy ending didn't come easily, though. At his lowest point, man, this is something else. I mean, Chris had lost his wife, his home, and he even lost his bed in a homeless shelter.
Wow. And imagine spending the night in a public bathroom with your child, because that's what he did.
At the train station. I
Yeah.
mean, at the trains, a very, very public place. Now, so what makes this story compelling was Chris's determination that he was going to live the American dream.
No matter how far the chips were down.
You betcha.
Today, we're going to look at 4 tips from this wonderful movie about how to live the American dream, according to the Pursuit of Happyness. And the first tip is get the dream job. So Chris got a job in a lab, but it didn't pay enough to support his family. So he got hired as a medical equipment salesperson. And on a sales call at a hospital, Chris met a man with a red Ferrari. He asked the man what he did for a living. He said he was a stockbroker. Chris had found his career.
Now, think about this. So here's a guy who just recently had a job, but it wasn't supporting his family. And now he sees this Ferrari, and he knows it's an expensive car, and he knows whatever the person is who drives this, they must have a great job that pays a lot of money that would allow him to support his family.
And have a hot car.
And have a hot car.
Yeah.
And so at that moment in time, Chris found his career. He took a demanding, and this is what I love about this, because, you know, we all think, okay, right there, the story ends, he's buying a Ferrari, right? No, he took an unpaid internship to get that job, to end up getting the job as a stockbroker.
That's taking some risks.
That is taking some risks, but there was no guarantee that he was going to get that job, but he took that chance anyway. And I think this is something we have to realize. You know, success doesn't come overnight. Success doesn't come in an instance. Even when it's like right in front of our eyes, exactly what we need to accomplish, we have to press forward in order to actually get what we want.
And so Chris ultimately did get his dream occupation.
Yeah, eventually he even went on to start his own brokerage firm. And in case you're wondering, yes, he did get that Ferrari. In fact, he bought Michael Jordan's Ferrari.
So, I mean, this is just such a great example of the fact that despite your circumstances, you can rise up.
Yeah, it starts by finding and landing that job you were born to do, to find your occupation. And when you find your calling, money is often one of the rewards.
And you'll find in our show notes today a link to a show we did about finding your calling, and it's called 4 Rewards of Finding Your Purpose. Our second tip from the movie, The Pursuit of Happyness, is get past obstacles. And I think we've already been kind of introduced to how Chris faced many of them on his way to becoming a multimillionaire, and somehow, some way, he was able to push past them.
And that is a hugely significant point. Every single one of us faces obstacles. That's not the question. The question is, how do you respond to obstacles? Most people get crushed. Successful people find a way to overcome the inevitable obstacles that we're going to face.
We have a resource about overcoming obstacles, the one ingredient that guarantees you'll be able to overcome them. Find a link to that in today's show notes. So now, George, when you run full speed ahead into that proverbial wall, what do you do?
Well, you just have to find a way to climb over it, dig under it, go around it on one side or the other, or get through it. Don't make excuses. Do what you have to do. Little asterisk here, as long as it's ethical, moral,
right.
legal,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. But I mean, you got to do whatever it takes to succeed. Don't complain. That's what a lot of times we just want to whine about it. Well, you can't whine about it. Find your source of strength. For the two of us, without question, it comes from time with God, time spent with God, communicating with God. Don't give up. Stay focused on your goals. And why this is so important, and why it's so important for you to achieve those goals. When you keep your focus there, you're going to succeed.
Coming up, Chris gives his son the best advice any father could give any son. But first, a word from our sponsor, financialfreedomtool.com. Plenty of money for life.
Do you feel doubt when making money decisions? Let the Financial Freedom Tool be your decision-making guide 24/7, 365 days a year, so you can make your next money moves with confidence. Learn more at financialfreedomtool.com.
We're talking about living the American dream by sharing 4 tips from the movie Pursuit of Happyness. Our third tip is protect your dream. In the movie, Chris tells his son, don't ever let someone tell you that you can't do something. Not even me. You've got a dream. You've got to protect it. You want something, you go get it. Period.
That's so awesome. So
Powerful.
Strong, right? Yes, powerful. You have to protect your dream. We hear a lot of people talking about dreams, but we don't recall ever hearing the phrase, protect your dream. And it's so incredibly important because a dream is such a precious thing. Others have their own dreams for you. They don't mean any harm by it. It's just that their dream for you fits with their dream for themselves. If your dream doesn't align with theirs, you have to find a way to stand firm on your dreams.
And we have a link to a show that we did called What to Do When Your Dream Creates Conflict with Others. It's a really big help when you face something like this. You'll find the link in today's show notes. Now, we've already talked about obstacles, but George, isn't it important to note that a dream can get derailed by circumstances?
You betcha, it sure can. So you got to keep the faith and keep fighting no matter what conditions you face. Protect that dream. It's like a child. It has to be nursed when it's young so that it grows up to be strong. That's the only way that your dream will come true.
And you'll find a link in your show notes to a show we did called 3 More Things to Do to Keep Your Dream Alive. Now we're to our 4th tip about the pursuit of happiness, how to live the American dream. And this one is simply pursue happiness. Don't count on happiness to come to you. After all, the movie isn't called The Receipt of Happiness, right?
Yeah, you're right on that,
It's called The
Mary-Lynn.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Good point, Mary-Lynn. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Notice that the 3 points that we made earlier, they all require action on your part.
You can't just dream about it, right?
You can't just dream about it,
do it.
And you also can't predict the future. And I think this is what gets a lot of people tied up, especially in a chaotic world like the one we live in. You can't predict the future. If you think like an entrepreneur, you realize that you have to create the future. You may not be an entrepreneur in the traditional sense, but that thought process that you create your future is going to help you immensely.
It's
as you start.
empowering.
It is, because all you can do is to pursue your dream one step at a time. And step by step, you reach big success.
We've created a 1-page cheat sheet to guide you through our holistic goal-setting process because it helps you achieve personal, professional, and financial success. Get your copy today. Follow the link in your show notes to get the free 360-degree goal-setting cheat sheet.
And you've made us happy that you listened today. Thank you so much.
Until next time, here's to your big success.
Tips to be your best with the professor and Mary-Lynn for your big success.
Find big success at biggsuccess.com.